Good day, YouTubers. It's Gary from NSYakfisher Outdoors. We just turned down a woods road in the wilds of Nova Scotia. I'm going to be traveling, a few kilometers back here and doing a little hike and fish for some Nova Scotia brook trout. Got a few different spots in mind, and just going to keep an eye on the road conditions and see how far I can get back, and then we'll go from there to see what I end up doing. But I have the fly rod with me, I have my spinning rod with me with some lures and stuff, so I know from what I understand, some nearby water in the last few days. There's been a good mayfly hatch. It's overcast today. I'm not sure that we're going to see any or too much for mayfly activity, but we have all sorts of options to us, so if any of that interests you, stay tuned, and we'll bring you back once we get this vehicle stopped and get packed up for our hike. Stay tuned. Well, I'm off like a herd of turtles. Got the vehicle in part way here, and now I'm just hiking down an old woods road. I can hear the stream that's pretty close to this particular spot, so there's quite often a little more fishing pressure in this area. So I'm going to try a couple of those spots just to see, sort of a litmus test of what I might expect once I get a little deeper. Hopefully be far better fishing as well, but you never know. I've had some great fishing in these spots too, so we will give them a try before we really bear down and get into this hike a little more. Anyway, I'm gonna get in there and have a look around, see if I can find some mayflowers and stuff as I go, and once we hit the first fishing spot, we'll bring you back. Just up above you, the tree right behind us here. There's a rake full of beer cans stuck in the trees. Some idiots sitting back here fishing. Not just fishing, but even garbage and stuff. It's always gas and fun to get at. So anyway, we'll keep trying here for a few minutes. If things don't improve, we'll move on. I'm going to tip my little brook magnet with a little worm just to see anything that's there. Beautiful spot. Look at that baby. Huh? It's a beautiful start. We'll let him go into the foam here. There you go. Those had a wood duck fly out of here, a couple trout. I don't know if the camera can pick it up that far, but there's a couple Canadas over there on the little tiny brook just off of it. Probably a mated pair, keeping a close eye out on us, I guess. Anyway, that was encouraging. I got one decent, real nice trout, really, for here. We don't get much bigger than like 12 inches out of the stream, but the other one was a little small. He just fell off in the bushes and went back. Anyway, I'm encouraged because this hole is kind of easily accessible, so a lot of times it gets fish, but I'm gonna start getting on my hike here and get to some hopefully even better holes, so stay tuned. Well, as my luck would have it, a large group of extremely noisy off-road vehicles just came up through, ripping up through here through the mud and making a mess of things. Pretty sure they went right through the stream up here, which is just lovely. But anyway, I think you can probably hear them in the background, but I dipped off to the side of the road here to let everybody pass, and anyway, I wanted to let you have a look at what I found, because if you look down here, we got some wintergreen. And these are the first mayflowers of the year. Nova Scotia's namesake. I see some hidden down in there. So there's some nice ones. So always nice to come across mayflowers. Of course, in amongst here, there's quite a bit of wintergreen too. So I'm going to take a few minutes here, take a break from all that racket, and grab a couple mayflowers for the missus. She always likes to have a few. It reminds her of her grandmom, and certainly reminds me of my mother as well. So, and maybe a few wintergreen leaves for tea later on. So, anyway, once I get going again, we'll bring you back. And right now, I'm gonna pick some flowers. Well, let's just get this set up. The trout fishing hasn't been bad. It hasn't been great either so far, but we're getting a little farther back. The wildlife has been awesome, from geese to wood ducks, a few blacks, and some wonderful scenery. Here we have another nice beaver pond. And just a few minutes ago, I've heard the third or fourth different grouse just are drumming, so there seems to be a strong population around here of them, but I kind of already knew that from a trip a while back. But anyway, gorgeous. I haven't actually fished this particular beaver pond yet. I'm going to save that for maybe on the way back. But we're getting closer to a little known path off the beaten track spot to one of the very first holes I can remember fishing with my father. So I'm going to fish a little bit there. Then hike up into another nice set of beaver ponds, and for that spot I plan on hauling out the 10-foot Stillwater fly rod and giving that a shot, see if I can pick some up on fly. I've seen a little bit of activity. This was just a touch warmer. I think there'd be a really nice mayfly hatch on, but doesn't look like we're going to get that today, but hopefully I can snag a trout or two on fly. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with this view, and then head out and try to get into some fish. So here we are, heading down one of my favorite streams. I have one hole in particular in mind that I want to give a real good going over, and I'm quite excited about it actually, because I stopped at a little hole that sometimes produces a fish, and usually just a standard 7-8 incher, but I caught 2 dandies out of it in a row without the camera on, and never stuck around to try it a third time. Might try it on my way back through, but I really want to get into my spot that I'm thinking of and give it a real good going over, because I think it's going to be fabulous based on what I've seen so far. So, wow. Between the mayflowers and the trout, it's turning into a perfect day. So as I said earlier, some of these spots, and this one in particular is one that I can remember Dad talking about coming here long before I was even able to go fishing on these bigger excursions. And a little bit's changed over the years. Not as far off the beaten path anymore. I don't know if you can hear, but there's some all-terrain vehicles ripping up through on the road. But anyway, that's not going to bother us. Most people don't even bother with these little streams. And this one's been ravaged over time. There's clear cuts in the surrounding areas which expose the trees around the stream, and the hurricane that went through here, you can see up along the other side, has really just put trees in everywhere because they were exposed and shallow root systems because of all the rocks. But anyway, today's video I'm kind of making for my dad. I hope to put it all together for him and share it with him now that he's not able to do this stuff anymore. But I also wanted to share it with you. So I'm just going to go bring you with me for a little bit of walk up here, and then we're going to start fishing again. So enjoy. The hole that Dad's probably caught more fish in than any other one hole ever. I've been back here a little lower water when I can see what's going on, and I know there's trout in there, but there's also lots of tree limbs and stuff, and I'm just not having much success that way. So I'm going to hit up some beaver ponds and see if I can get a few more trout, and just I've donated a couple lures and stuff here, so I think that's probably plenty for today for this spot, and we're going to move on and hopefully find a few better holes for me, at least today. So anyway, it's always nice visiting here. Usually a little more successful in the fishing department. That's okay for today. It's all about the journey. We're gonna get supper started. We got the burner going and everything, so might take a few casts. Just one of those days. Broke the end of my spinning rod, so right now I have my end of my fly rod on it for trial. So we'll see how that works out. Anyway, it's a pretty hole here. Maybe we'll get a trout. If not, I'll bring you back maybe and have a look at my supper. So starting to get on with the day, so I gotta eat and soon start thinking about getting out of here. All right, let's get her done. A little water left. Fine. I have my filter with me too, so no worries that way. Woo, come back. Nothing like being out in the woods. I've seen mallards, black ducks, wood ducks, a couple partridge now, a couple geese, caught some trout, caught some really nice trout, just not where I expected it, but might be a week or two early. And we're going to finish her off with a nice meal here at a beaver pond. Get that down us, and then I'll hike the rest of the way out to the car. Nothing quite like it. I'm gonna pack out my junk. It's incredibly hard. Takes a lot of effort. Working the outdoors. Hot lips on. Snuggle in and have some supper. These are dandy. They pack flat, they don't weigh anything, and they're handy. My supper, more down than that. Try to give you a peek at that. Came out looking pretty good, tastes pretty good, so that's all that matters. So I'm going to go ahead and eat that, and if anything else happens, we'll bring you back. So we're almost, well, not too far to get back to the vehicle now. And, it's coming on later on in the evening. There's a pretty heavy mist in the air. I'm just coming across the swamp, and not sure if you can pick it up, but sounds like the spring peepers are waking up and letting us know that it is indeed spring. There's been some debate in Nova Scotia this year, off and on, but anyway, as always, it's been an eventful day. It's been a day outdoors, an enjoyable day. Had some bad things happen, but you know, there's always some bumps in the road, and them's just the brakes. So I'll get those things situated with my equipment so that next time I'm a little even better prepared than I was today. I got a couple of trout to have a little supper with the missus tomorrow, so we'll enjoy some wild brookies. Caught a few more that I know that they'll be there and even bigger next time, so that's always good. The population seemed healthy, even if they didn't exactly, or they weren't exactly where I thought they'd be. There were some surprises today as far as location, but there were still some fish. So anyway, a good meal to boot, so I'm gonna head out the rest of the way and call it a night and get my butt home. So you all take care, and until next time, get out in the outdoors, do some fishing, hunting, hiking, boating, you name it. Just get out there and enjoy it. Bye bye for now.